One of the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria, Southeast Nigeria is the home of the Igbos, one of the 3 main ethnic groups in Nigeria. The Igbos are people steeped in culture and traditions, and while women in Igbo land are respected for their roles as mothers and caregivers, they also face challenges related to gender inequality and discrimination. One of the key challenges is gender-based violence. While 2 out of 3 women in Nigeria have experienced domestic violence, results show significant ethnic differences, with Igbo women more likely to have experienced sexual and emotional violence compared to Yoruba women. Recently, Center for the Right to Health initiated a project aimed at changing attitudes towards gender-based violence against people living with disabilities in Imo State, Southeast Nigeria. This video breaks the silence on this very serious issue and tells the stories of the lived experiences of these women in their own voices.
Gender-based violence is really any form of violence that people experience differently from other genders as a result of their gender. Persons with a disability actually suffer a lot more gender-based violence, and women with disability in particular are more at risk of gender-based violence. And the violence is not only when it's just physical violence. The violence can be emotional in nature. It could be financial when they're not getting the resources they need to live in dignity. It could be spiritual, okay, when they are made to feel less value of what, or not even befitting, or to feel like a cause.
When we got there, he left me with his friend, who raped me, then used a white handkerchief to clean me up.
Just often you find out that there are factors like cultural factors that could be driving vulnerability. So, but then there's also something like a fetish, a cultural fetish that uses dehumanizes. It's almost like they tell you, go and get a goat, go and get a chicken, or go sleep. It's really, that is where it comes a lot. Go sleep with a person, and let's okay, use the white handkerchief, wipe it as evidence, and bring a portion of this person. That is some of the experiences that our people are recounting. And
so I got school. Donga, one ibe with the one boy. So my Hana Bamam she him up biawo Adam my ngotore kporo ho. Angoja art film. I know sha hoja art film. Ka ngokporo ho. Who just art my film.
Anya duzinga. Ya kporo zempela enya nwoke. So ya fumaziri enya nwoke. Ajinazi were ihe white, hanky white. Ishama ho one so dazi kporo zi yo mazi. Ibe ebukwana dadin she. Ajina mo jona uzi megbe. Ye me 3 months. O ye me mam. Dadim ha kporo zi nga he center. Main test. Ya uze shi ali mimi.
So why you bang kwalo machine he yo. So ya show ja ho to ga. Okay. So I ono ga la film agala o ga so ha shin je register ya. So register chala na. I bu I ga don bo ha sa ga mu fun ahụ give me her operation. Ma bia baale ma. So je baale ma ga na ukwu ga nanda. So je bi ego 500,000. I think we just make operation. So maybe I make ya. I make operation. Ya mo. Ya yo. So boy ma apo bata. So they may.
They could say go get an albino, sleep with an albino. I think that is really happening when it comes to people that are physically different.
I was devoted to the Catholic Church and Catholic activity. So there is this guy that came my way. By then I was a teenager, like a young teenager, about 16, 17. So he called me that money and said that he was not feeling fine, that I should come and pray for him, which I went, hoping to go and pray for someone that was not feeling fine. And then he slept with me, and that was it. Before you know it, I got pregnant. At a point, he denied the pregnancy at that moment.
Not only are we not taking care of them, then we are further abusing them. A woman with disability, a young girl with disability, or a woman with disability is pregnant and nobody's taking responsibility for it. It wasn't an immaculate conception. Somebody abused her.
His family said that instead of him to marry me, he will marry an outcast and that I would have a child that is just like me.
When someone is born shorter than normal or born as an albino or even has a physical disability, they are seen as culturally abnormal. They are seen as less than and not good enough. So that the valuing creates a challenge even for the person. Even when it comes to marriage, you meet a woman you want to marry and she has a disability, your whole culture will fight you. Now, you haven't seen people with 2 legs, it's the one that doesn't have legs that you want to marry. Oh, you haven't seen people that have legs, the one that has no color. So there's that the valuing.
Women with disabilities find it very difficult to get married. When a man will agree to accept a woman, if you come to their house, the mother must say this or the man or their friends or any relation.
You know that this person is a disabled. You know that he's a blind person, a blind woman. You tell her that you will marry her. When the blind woman got pregnant, you deny him, start abusing the man. So who do you want to take care of that blind woman? So that thing is another violence. It's also gender-based.
Nna nwa nwunye ya kwadoro na anyị ga-alụ onwe anyị alụ, mana mgbe ọ bịaziri dọrọ mgbajuo dọrọ imetụla ọnụ na-asị m dị ime ya na oso eme ezigo gara mmadụ gakwa ga-azị ya ka anyị ọ bịa mee ihe o kwesịrị ime. Mgbe ahụ m hụrụ na ime ha eruole emont, ọ jụrụ ajụ uwe ekwere ma nga ugbu a ụkwụ ya nwe mgbe ọ kpara n'ụlọ anyị nyekwana m ego ka m nwee ike ji nyere aka ya so famili ya na ọ sị na instead ya ga-alụ m ha ga-alụrụ osu na m wee bit nyere ezinụlọ ha na ihe m ga-amụ ụkwa ihe ahụ nne m mụọ ebe ọkwanụ na instead m ga-egbu nwa nọ n'afọ nwekwana ọta mma m ga-eme kemgbe ahụ ugbu a m kwuru mụta nwa nọ 9 months ago. Naanị m lekọtaga nwa m ihe ọ chọziri ka o cheke ma nwa aha anyị ọ dị mma ka o nwee ike zọbata echi, mana ajụrụ m ajụ kemgbe ahụ m kwuru mụta nwa mụcha nwa ọ bịaga ha ọ nọkatakwa na jụ ese sị ele otu ihe echi agaga malitere na first month ruo na ending.
I am always walking like a lion and eating like an ant. If I was not disabled, somebody like me, I know where I will be.
Women in general are often not as valued as men in our culture. Now you are a woman with disability, so you're even less valuable. So there doesn't seem to be an investment in protecting you as much as protecting other women. You are even lucky to have food, to be alive. You are expendable.
I'm athletics, I'm wheelchair tennis, I'm basketball. Look, I say I'm a Paralympian. I went to Tokyo 2020. I won Nigeria wheelchair tennis. I won for Africa gold last year, 2023. BNP, hold in Abuja, wheelchair tennis. I won the gold to represent Africa in Portugal. I got the visa. I do not have any support because I'm a disabled. If I thought that I'm able, I would have a support. That my visa just end like that without traveling. The able ones that traveled, you know how they take good care of them. They always be announcing on the radio, this, that, giving them award. But being disabled person, nothing. I just go, come back. I'm always walking like a lion and eating like an ant. And it vexes me. Sometimes he say, if I am not a disabled, I'll be somebody like me. I know the level I'm supposed to be.
It's very heartbreaking. It's very heartbreaking because we do not, that's why I said, because we are often seen as beggars. We're often seen as less than, without understanding that it's not our physical ability or it's not our disability that had made us less. It's the fact that the opportunities that we need to be able to fulfill the best that is in us has not been granted us. We have not been valued. Because you polish what you value. So our system, once they see a disability, you're dismissed.
Wherever any office is, they should consider our accessibility, because if the access to that place is not tolerant to us, we cannot move in.
The government's approach to disability has not been very encouraging. It took many years, over 20 years of advocacy to get them to pass the Anti-Disability Discrimination Act in Nigeria. And that act, one of the things it requires is that no discrimination. We should create access to public spaces, create opportunities, access to free healthcare services. But that has not really materialized. Barely anywhere is accessible in Nigeria.
As a woman with a disability, it is not easy for me, especially in the public places, like in a place that I am working. We hardly have a restroom. Most time you move out, and before you could go to the place, you get to hide yourself and urinate or do whatever as a woman. As a woman, you have to raise up your dress and whatever before you can do anything. Again, when you travel, you see yourself in a luxury bus or whatever you travel. When we get to the public place that they used to eat, you find it difficult to still ease yourself. So what I normally do when I'm traveling, I won't drink water until I reach where I'm going to. And you know what it means for one not to take water when even you are thirsty. When I come to the office, if I don't see anybody that will bring out the wheelchair for me, I will stay there until I see somebody that will help me and bring out the wheelchair. Then when I'm alone in the house, when I get to the place I'm living, I won't call anybody to bring out the wheelchair for me. I will leave it in the car and crawl inside, so that in the morning it will be easy for me to enter rather than going to call somebody, please come and put the wheelchair, come and do this. I don't like really disturbing people.
And wherever any office is, or even in the hospital or bank, anywhere, they should consider our accessibility. Because if the access to that place is not good, it's not tolerant for us, we cannot move in. We cannot access bank, we cannot access hospital. So they would do something. Or even if it's ramp, they should put ramp. Make their doors wide enough to accommodate the wheelchair.
It is one thing to have the policy. It's another thing to have the institutional framework. But where there is a will, there is a way. We need to be able to work with our engineers. It's not only just the government. We need civil society. We need professional associations and organizations to really come together and begin to see how do we ensure that these needs are met.
Abusers don't stop because you are vulnerable. When you look at gender-based violence, it is about power.
The vulnerability of women with disability to gender-based violence is a lived experience even for me. And if there's anything that I could do to protect other women with disability, this is personal. So, abusers don't stop because you're vulnerable. Because when you look at gender-based violence, it's really about power. So now when you're so much more powerless, abuser feels so much more powerful. And I hurt you even more. And even when you speak it out, it sounds like, why are you trying to rock the boat? Oh, we all experience it. The woman in the family would say, oh, it's not a big deal. And that is really what I'm hoping that will call attention to. That it is a big deal for the abused. It is a big deal for the person living it. I know they need to be protected. We need to be protected. I need to be protected. We need to break the silence